Stuart and I got on well. I was in awe of his talent, but he was amusing and good company too. I was glad John had a friend who took art seriously, but I never saw him as anything more than a mate who hung around with John and me. One night we were at a party, and John went mad when someone told him Stuart and I were dancing together. As soon as I saw the look on John's face, we stopped, and, as so often before, I reassured him that it was him I loved. He seemed to accept it, but the next day at college he followed me to the girls' loos in the basement. When I came out, he was waiting, with a dark look on his face. Before I could speak, he raised his arm and hit me across the face, knocking my head into the pipes that ran down the wall behind me. Without a word, he walked away, leaving me dazed, shaky, and with a very sore head. I was shocked, really shocked that John had been physically violent. I could put up with his outbursts, the jealousy and possessiveness, but violence was a step too far. Phil had been right. I knew I had to end our relationship. For weeks I remained determined not to take John back. I even went on a few dates with a boy who lived near me and did my best to catch up with my college work. I put John firmly out of my mind. It wasn't easy, though, because I saw him around college every day. He would look over at me in the canteen or in the lettering class, and when our eyes met, in the moment before I turned away, I knew we still cared for each other as much as ever. Friends told me John missed me, and I certainly missed him, his humour, his music, and passion. After 3 months he phoned me and asked me to go back to him. It had taken him that long to pluck up the courage. He apologized for hitting me and said it would never happen again. I hesitated for a whole second before I said yes. John was true to his word. He was deeply ashamed of what he had done. I think he had been shocked to discover he had it in him to hit me. So, although he was still verbally cutting and unkind, he was never again physically violent to me. As we grew closer, in the second phase of our romance, even his verbal put-downs and attacks diminished. It was as though the more certain he was that I was there for him and loved him, the easier he found it to remove his protective armour.